Hello everyone, and welcome to another Top 5 to Stay Alive for April 2022. Shall we begin? Do you ever go to your doctor and he wants to put you on a statin? Well, every doctor will quote from the Jupiter study when telling patients to take a statin drug to lower their cholesterol. I am going to show you 5 reasons I believe this study should not be taken seriously and how it is very deceiving to the average American. Their numbers are in fact correct, but let's look at how they arrived at these percentages that appear on the surface to be life-saving. Oh boy! Number 1, the golden rule. There was a particular statin drug used during that study. It's called Crestor. Now the manufacturer of Crestor is AstraZeneca, a pharmaceutical company, and when we look even closer, we discover it was AstraZeneca who actually funded the study. Do you think the people paying for the study would have any influence on the results? Well, in truth, it has been reported that when a drug company funds a study, the results are favorable 90% of the time. Whereas when a non-drug company funds the study, the results are favorable less than 50% of the time. Which leads me to conclude the golden rule is in place. He who has the gold rules. Number 2, the financial ties that bind. According to Dr. Norton Hadler of ABC News, all the principal trial investigators had declared financial involvements with the industry that serves the cardiovascular enterprise. In fact, many of them with AstraZeneca itself. This seems to be happening a lot lately. The research scientists of the FDA safety studies and committees, as well as the scientists doing the medical research, having stock options in the companies of the drugs which they are investigating. What is wrong with that picture, do you think? Kind of reminds me of Biden's pick for the energy. She has stock options in renewable energy and is pushing the Green Deal with all her influence. Do you think there's any kind of conflict of interest? Number 3, the manipulation of numbers. The Jupiter study, listen to this now, is actually playing a numbers game. Let me break this down for you in the real numbers. The study claims an average of 50% reduction in heart attack and stroke to anyone taking the statin. Now we think out of 17,800 people enrolled in that study, that means about 8,900 people saw a benefit. Not so. In fact, only 2% of the enrolled, that's 17,800, had a cardiovascular event, or 356 people. So, out of those 356 people, only 0.72% taking Crestor had a cardiovascular event, while 1.5% taking the placebo had an event. Now, that is a difference of 50%, but is it the real difference of 139 people out of 17,900 showing any benefit or an actual 0.008%? Now, the study is recommending 23 million people taking a statin to show only an actual benefit of 0.008%, which boils down to 1,840 lives being saved out of 23 million. Now, number 4, the real NNT. Doctors use a formula known as NNT, or numbers needed to treat. How many patients need to take the drug in order for one person to show the benefit? According to the study's own numbers, the NNT is, get this, a patient would have to take a statin drug every day for the rest of their lives in order to prevent a cardiovascular event in 1 out of 1,840 people. And finally, number 5, the real effects. The study was slated to last 3 years, but they stopped it just after 2 years, maybe because of what was not reported by the media. The people in the Crestor group also showed an increase in diabetes, rhabdomyolysis, which is a muscle degeneration, and kidney problems. I have to ask you now, are you willing to take a drug every day for the rest of your life knowing that it shows very little benefit and it comes complete with a host of side effects? The 3 mentioned above, plus depression, memory loss, cancer, cataracts, anemia, polyneuropathy. I can guarantee the number of people having these side effects will greatly outnumber the people showing any benefit. 50%! Yeah, 50%, 139 people out of 18,900. All right, topic number 2. What does the CHMP which is the scientific arm of the European Food and Drug Authority, much like our FDA. Now, what did they do? It must be something, because it just gave a big thumbs down to the approval of osteoporosis med that was greenlit by the FDA last year. That drug, sold under the brand name Tymlos in the U.S., is just too dangerous, the CHMP committee members said, and its benefits don't outweigh its risks. The FDA, on the other hand, was apparently looking the other way when it came to vertigo, nausea, heart palpitations, too low blood pressure, dangerous levels of blood calcium, and the not-so-little matter of bone cancer that we're all warned about on the Tymlos packaging, and in fine print, of course. But Tymlos is only one of several extremely dicey drugs now available to treat osteoporosis. Put together, these meds make up a smorgasbord of horrific side effects. Meanwhile, researchers in Brazil are looking the other way to prevent this condition. And the only side effects that I can see from their approach involve dropping a few pounds, preventing diabetes, slowing down the aging process, and keeping your brain as sharp as a tack. Oh, and strengthening your bones. Osteoporosis is, to be sure, a frightening prospect. After a certain age, suffering a bad break can be life-altering. But that worry doesn't go away if you decide to try one of Big Pharma's solutions. Because the top sellers such as Boniva, Fosamax, and Reclast are all linked to increased risk of bone fractures, including unusual breaks in the femur or the thigh bone, which just so happens to be the longest and strongest bone in your body. How's that for irony? Meanwhile, executives at Radius Health, which makes Tymlos, aren't going to let the European setback worry them, as they plan to remain focused on building sales of drugs in the U.S. Yikes. Even if the loss of sales across the pond doesn't rock their billion-dollar bone boat, however, it's likely that Brazilian findings will, because according to this new research, what can help women keep their bones strong after menopause is none other than a Mediterranean diet. In fact, the researchers went so far as to call this way of eating a non-medical strategy in preventing osteoporosis. I've told you a lot of good news about the Mediterranean diet in the past, but this is the first time that the diet has been studied to find out if you can do what all those risky meds claim to do. That is, if they don't cause your bones to break first. And that is increase bone density. Specifically, the Brazilian scientists found that this med can significantly increase both spine bone mineral density and muscle mass. The med I speak of is the Mediterranean diet, and it has been called the miracle drug the world's been waiting for. It can help add years to your life, as well as prevent diabetes, slow aging, and keep your brain sharp. Hopefully, using extra virgin olive oil, one of the hallmarks of the Mediterranean diet, is an established part of your kitchen routine. But to get all the benefits this approach to eating has to offer, you'll also need to do two things. Number one, add more fruits and veggies, beans and lentils to your diet, plus try to serve up fish at least 4 times a week, and nuts which you should use in your cooking and snack on during the day. Number 2, subtract processed foods and frankenfood oils such as canola, corn, and soy, and cut down on sugar, red meat, and dairy. And if you have any more doubts about making the switch to this way of eating, you'll be pleased to know that having a glass of wine with dinner is a Mediterranean diet staple. Topic number 3. What do soda and good health have in common? That's easy. Nothing. So why would soda giants Coke and Pepsi shell out millions every year to big health advocacy groups like the American Diabetes Association and the American Heart Association? That's really easy. Big bucks buy influence, and when you back up the money truck with huge piles of cash, you can buy a lot of it. As a new study uncovered, those groups and others are taking millions in cash from big soda every year. And at the same time, these health groups expect us to believe that doesn't poison the well of advice they dish out to us. Nobody is going to be shocked to learn from this study published in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine that huge corporations like Coke and Pepsi cough up millions to get cozy with state and federal lawmakers. The way soda makers see it, the problem is all these do-gooders want their lawmakers to set a crazy high taxes on soft drinks. Whether this actually works or not to lower obesity rates is beside the point. All Coke and Pepsi know is that such taxes would be a disaster to their bottom lines. So they pump boatloads of money into their efforts to convince elected officials to just say no to soda taxes. But what about the not so little matter of big bucks they give to organizations like the American Diabetes Association, American Dental Association, American Heart Association, and even the National Institute of Health? Two Boston University researchers sifted through years of data tracking down news releases, public databases, and any other scrap of information they couldn't find. They could find. As one of the researchers told the New York Times, we wanted to look at what these companies really stand for. And when they got a clear look, it wasn't a pretty sight. They take the nonprofit group Save the Children. In several states, Save the Children promoted campaigns to tax soda, but in 2010, all of a sudden it changed course and dropped its campaigns like a hot potato. That is after they received a $5 million grant from Pepsi. A statement from Save the Children contains exactly the corporate spin you expect. They'd already decided deep six the soda tax campaigns, they say. The donation was unrelated to the decision. Maybe someone is buying the malarkey, but the huge potential for conflict of interest created by massive donations is impossible to ignore. These powerful corporations don't peel off that many greenbacks just for the pleasure of making nonprofit executives smile. In the past few years, Coke in particular has been on a charitable spending spree. The Times reported, for example, it's donated more than $400,000 to American Heart Association, $140,000 to American Dental Association, almost $2 million to the National Institute of Health. Surprise, surprise, Coke reps didn't want to talk about all this, but as one public policy expert put it, Big Soda is using corporate philanthropy to undermine the public health measures. I'm not surprised Coke dodged the issue. Last year, the New York Times reported about Coke's very generous multi-million-dollar support of a group called Global Energy Balance Network. Besides having a name that sounds like a parody of authentic organization, a Global Energy Balance vice president told a paper, listen to this now, there is virtually no compelling evidence that junk food, soda, and overeating are causing the obesity epidemic. That's supposed to be a joke, right? It's hard to believe that an adult actually spoke that sentence to a reporter. What's not at all hard to believe is that Big Soda, Big Bucks giveaway helps convince the so-called health advocates to stand aside and let the soda and junk food pipeline keep flowing. How sad. Topic number 4. You might generally consider yourself cool as a cucumber, but many people ask me what they should take because they are totally stressed out, and stress raises your C-reactive protein level, which leads to heart disease. But there are some things that would stress anyone out, no matter how chilled out you might be under regular circumstances. And when something triggers those alarm bells to go off, you need a way to promote a sense of well-being. Maybe just enough to get you through until things settle down. Fortunately, there's an herbal remedy that can help balance your stress response. It's been used by South African hunters for its mind-calming properties for hundreds of years. And now scientists have figured out the best way to deliver its benefits to you. Is it possible that it could help you feel more serene than you have in years? Don't worry, it won't dull your brain. In fact, it could help improve your ability to stay focused and pay attention, because when it matters most, you still want to stay in the zone. Canna, spelled K-A-N-N-A, is a flowering plant native to the South African bush, where generations of native tribesmen known as the San have relied on the plant to help them survive their harsh environment. They knew that if they chewed on it, it could lower their stress levels after a long, strenuous day of hunting and gathering. Much like the men do today, right? Hunting and gathering? Yeah, Jewel, Osco. And it could ease tension and anxiety for you too. Now, a little stress is actually good for us. It sounds the danger, danger, danger alarm when something is bad coming. But when your stress levels become imbalanced and excessive, stress takes over. It can compromise your ability to make decisions. That's why to stay sharp, you've got to keep your stress in check. In one study, Canna improved folks' ability to focus and pay attention by as much as 80% after just 3 weeks of taking it. What would you do if you had nearly twice the ability to stay dialed in, maybe even all day long? A compound in CANA called mesembrine appears to work by helping to free up the amount of neurotransmitter serotonin that your brain has access to. Serotonin is known as the happy hormone, and that's why several mood meds zero in on that exact same target. Folks don't just feel better after taking CANA, their brains actually work differently. In 2013, researchers used MRI scans to observe activity in the brain fight or flight center of the brain. And after just one dose of a special form of CANA, instead of lighting up in response to a potential threat, that red alert part of the brain was actually quite quiet and calm. And those circuitry changes were visible for within just 2 hours of taking CANA. With fast results like this, it's easy to wonder why this isn't being shouted from the rooftops. After all, CANA really works so well. Why doesn't your doctor know about it? Well, the big pharmaceutical companies can't make money off CANA because it's natural. So it's like they pretend CANA doesn't exist. And if the pharma reps aren't telling your doctor about CANA, well, it's almost like it doesn't exist. But now you know better. Look for the exact same form used in the clinical studies, a patent standardized CANA extract called Zembrin, spelled Z-E-M-B-R-I-N. The FDA has granted it generally recognized as safe, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding the standardized dose of 25 milligrams on its own or in a brain and mood boosting supplement at your local health food store. And now, ladies and gentlemen, topic number 5, sorry to say. It's a contradiction that might not make much sense until you experience it for yourself. Your extremities are numb, and when they're not, they're tingling, burning, and even extremely sensitive to touch. And that's what happens with neuropathy, a type of nerve pain that could actually cause you to lose feeling in your legs or feet, making it sometimes impossible to stand, walk, climb stairs, or move around the way you like to. And that could really put a damper on your independence. Some kind of neuropathy will affect an estimated 1 out of 4 Americans in their lifetime, including as many as 7 out of 10 folks with diabetes. Fortunately, there's a natural way you can support nerve health, reverse nerve damage, improve mobility, and feel better too. It's something that's renowned for its ability to support muscle building and athletic performance, but you don't have to be a bodybuilder or an athlete to benefit from it. It's called L-carnitine, and it gets its name from the Latin word for flesh or carnish. That's because in 1905, scientists first isolated it from meat. Today, I'm here to share with you how this meat molecule can help beat back another diabetic complication. I'm talking about peripheral neuropathy. Now, our bodies can actually produce some L-carnitine on their own. In fact, we need a certain amount of L-carnitine as it helps transport fatty acids to certain tissues that need them, like our nerves. But in diabetics, their supply could be as much as 25% lower. When it comes to neuropathy, a form of L-carnitine called acetyl L-carnitine could help. It will enhance actions of nerve growth factor, regenerate damaged nerves, boost nerve function, improve disability scores, and ease nerve pain. According to a 2019 meta-analysis, acetyl L-carnitine has reduced pain by an average of 20% in clinical trials, and that pain relief has lasted for as long as 2 weeks after stopping treatment. There's more, because neuropathy doesn't just strike diabetics. This nerve condition could also arise from physical injury or as a side effect of certain types of drugs. And that meta-analysis found that it could help in some of those cases too. Acetyl L-carnitine supplements are available from many quality makers at your local health food store or online. A recommended dose is 1,000 milligrams 2 to 3 times a day. They shouldn't be combined with any other blood thinning medications or supplements, and if you have any thyroid issues, they could make them worse. Be sure and be safe and not sorry. Check with your doctor before starting up with anything new. And now let's move on to testimonials. Dr. Harry, I heard a great testimonial this evening. I have a client in his mid-50s, and he has been on CardioForLIfe around 5 years. His cholesterol went up, so his doctor set him up to have a CT scan to look for plaque. He just got the results back and he has no plaque in his body anywhere. I had told the doctor I did not figure they would find any, and sure enough, he is clean as a whistle. He knows that it is the CardioForLIfe. Amazing product with great results. Thanks for your work. Thanks, Shirley. Number 2, I appreciate Dr. Harry's wisdom and commitment to helping others. The products are great tasting and fast results. Fantastic customer service also. Thanks, Sharon. Number 3, very good service. When you place an order, it's shipped the same day or the next day. I've ordered for myself and my parents and also other family members. We've just started using CardioForLIfe and already feel a difference. Can't wait to start using Flex. Thank you, Dr. Harry, for your excellent service. Well, thanks, Susan. The ordering process was easy. Setting up on an auto ship was easier. I've been taking CardioForLIfe a while now. I don't always take it every day, but after seeing the video on the website, I will be taking it every day, maybe twice a day. I look forward to seeing what this can do for me. Thanks, Debbie. My family and I love Health Guardian products. Their products is part of our daily regime. We can't do without it. First thing in the morning, so happy that our friend recommended these awesome products. Thanks, Cornell. And finally, after using Man Up for a number of years and liking the results, the health store I bought it from went out of business. So now I order direct from Health Guardian, and they were very efficient in shipping my order. In fact, I received it in 2 days on my first order. Dr. Harry even called me that day I ordered and told me it would be shipped that same day. Highly recommend the Health Guardian products. Thanks for that, Dale. That wraps up our top 5 to stay alive. Remember, if you would like this in writing, I can email it to you. Just email me at drharry@comcast.net, which is drharry@comcast.net. April showers are here, but May flowers are soon to be right around the corner, and I can't wait. Well, I say God bless you all, and we'll see you next time here at Top 5 to Stay Alive.